All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am no one. In today's video, we have an exciting announcement. These are the PTR update notes 0.7.0. Monday, March 24th, 2025. I already released a video earlier today, but this is so important, we should cover it now. And so yeah, you get two Ashes of Creation videos in the same day. So let's dive into it. These are the update notes for the changes to the private test realm NDA that went to testers on Monday, March 24th, 2025. As a reminder, if you come across bugs during Alpha 2 testing, please report them to use in-game by using /bug. Now, the reason we're posting these is typically these PTR notes that get posted like this come to the Alpha 2 servers on Thursday when everything goes live. We've already been told in advance that March 27th is when the Rogue is going live, which they also announce in these patch notes, but they announce a bunch of other stuff as well. Known issues. The Southern Harbor Emberspring is currently under the world, and characters cannot reach this to set it as their home. Rogue is not available from the character creator. You'll need to go to Gustavus, however you want to say it, the gear and boost vendor located outside the portal room in the ruins of Ayla and near boost NPCs and harbors. Gustavus can change a character's archetype to be rogue. Yeah, this one was confusing for me the first day on the PTR. So you make a character like normal, you walk through the first doorway, the first archway, and then yeah, he's there, and then you change to a rogue, and you are a rogue. After using teleport NPCs, your character may continue to run forward. You can press escape and click game options to stop this. PTR updates, Monday, March 24th, highlights. Rogue archetype is now available. Huge change. Big announcement. It's a lot of fun. It will need some adjustments. It felt pretty strong when I was testing it. I'm excited to see what Rogue is going to be when they come to the live servers, but this is huge. A whole new archetype for everybody to play. Literally, if you come back to Alpha 2 or you're logging back in for a while, I'm guessing everybody will be leveling a Rogue. Like everybody. Everybody wants to play Rogue. Everybody wants to try the archetype. Yeah, so this is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun coming this next week. Dual Daggers weapon is now available. I didn't get to play the later iterations. The earlier iterations were very strong. I'm excited to see what those changes are. The Turquoise Sea has been expanded. Travel through the lawless tropics and explore 8 new pocket dungeons, islands, and trade commodities at the far-flung trade post. So, as you guys know, last month they expanded into the desert. We got 2 new lawless zones. They fleshed out the 3 other former lawless zones. And they turned them into nodes, and they're slowly expanding the map. What has not been touched has been the tropics, and now we have pocket dungeons and islands in the same way that we got desert stuff last month. You know, the place that doesn't exist. So yeah, just expansion continues further, more places to explore. Node siege system has been added. I didn't realize that this was coming this week. Bring your friends and slay your enemies in an epic 100v100 battle for nodes. Now, it was announced by Steven in one of the Q&As that they aren't bringing all the consequences to node sieges. So one of the biggest things that really has my attention about this game is nodes can rise and fall. So if you work together with a group of people, you can build things up. And if you piss off a bunch of other people that are stronger than you and they go to war with you and they win, they can tear your node down. And when they tear down your node, your area becomes a loot and rubble place to where, like, literally it's a free-for-all PvP zone for a few days. So as much as I'm excited about a siege system to where we can actually knock down cities, I am just as excited about a free-for-all PvP, always-on PvP area for lots and lots of resources that it comes from a city's debris. That's super exciting. But none of that's going to really exist. We're going to have the 100v100, but they said that the node isn't going to be destroyed yet, and we will not yet get the destructed state with rubble and everything. So everybody concerned about losing resources and all that stuff, that part has been stayed. But we will have node sieges, which is, you know, it's a fun first start, but I'm looking forward to the destruction myself. Naval system has been added. Visit the harbor master to purchase a ship and use it to navigate the high seas. Yeah, there's been one big interview in the last couple of years that I have not watched, and it was the Lazy Peon and Steven interview from a week or 2 ago. And Steven apparently announced this during that, and I missed it. So when I saw that naval system was being tested this week, I was very excited because it really caught me off guard. And yeah, we are getting a rogue, we're getting new areas, we're getting node sieges, and we're getting the naval system. This is a bunch of stuff. A bunch of stuff. Node relic system has been added. There is a chance that certain bosses and mobs will drop a relic that can be transferred transported to a node by a caravan. Some relics require more investigation to discover. Very excited about that. That is another huge part of the systems, and so I'm excited to see this also. Freeholds have been added to the Sand Squall Desert. So yeah, more freeholds open up. That one is also quite large. Jesus Christ. Ranger archetype changes. I was looking through this on the PTR. I want to test everything first before I provide my feedback on it. I read it. I saw some positives, like I liked some of the directions that they went, and then I saw other people bring up potential downsides to some of the adjustments that they made. I just have to see it for myself. I'm gonna play some Ranger, and I'll provide some feedback on this, and then I'll dive into Rogue, because Rogue is one of my favorite archetypes. But I am excited to see what the Ranger changes are. I love the fact that the Intrepid developers, they've been listening, like what Vladis has been doing with the Roundtable podcast with other people with their archetypes, watching different videos, listening to feedback on the forums, listening to feedback on the servers about different archetypes. Providing different change and iterations to these things is a really cool part of this process, and it's really fun to be a part of it, to see, their initial changes, people provide feedback and input, and then iterate and potentially make even better changes. So I'm excited to see what this turns into. I'm very excited about that. We added a simple item search filter to the player marketplace. This is just a small quality of life improvement, and we will continue developing features to enable trade. This is not a small quality of life improvement. This is a huge quality of life improvement. This includes enhancements that occur based on node level in the future arrival player-driven auction house. We will continue observing, playing alongside of you, and listening to your feedback in order to make Ashley Creation the game we all want it to be. So currently, the way the system works is, obviously, as you guys know, Alpha 2 is being built from the bottom up. They just added the player marketplace in phase 2, and if you want to search for things, each player has their own stall, and players have a description area where they input stuff. So if I want to sell something and I want it to sell quickly, I have to change my description in order for people to know that it's there. And so there's pros and cons, obviously. Like this is a huge quality of life change, because if you're selling Braidwood or whatever, you don't have to list it in the description. People will just know. They'll be able to search for it, and they'll see that it's listed in your stall. And so that is huge for people that don't input that. Without it being there, if you wanted to and you wanted to go through the effort of searching through every individual stall looking for deals, you could find some pretty crazy deals. So yeah, that's the added benefit of this. This is not a small change, though. This is actually a quite nice change. Now, the Turquoise Sea. The Turquoise Sea has been expanded as a lawless tropic zone. Added new pocket dungeons. The name of these new dungeons are Multruck's Fall, The Brig, Ruins of Shoalfire, Farfathom Caves, Pyrespire Vent, Isle of Bones, the Coral Grotto, Subelfire Lighthouse, and added a trading post in the Turquoise Sea for caravan runs. There are new commodities here. Added new gatherables, events, mounts, and rooting balls in the Turquoise Sea. So yeah, once again, like I said before, the desert, we've already seen how this kind of happens, where they introduce obsidian, they introduce different resources, and then they're going to bring new recipes and stuff online that will use these different resources. So I'm very excited to see what these new resources, new weapons, new consumables are going to be, because yeah, they're assigning value to this area for you to go out there and get those things. Harbor and naval systems. Harbor buildings have been added to the new Turquoise Sea area. Caravel ship has been added. This ship is intended for about 8 characters. Potion launchers on Caravel ships can be used to attack and destroy other ships and caravan rafts. Visit the Harbor Master to purchase a ship. Harbors is where characters are able to launch ships. Construction time for ships is 2 minutes before they become operational. Docking ships at harbors. Characters can dock their ship when they're in range of a harbor. A ship can be deployed from the same harbor where it was docked. All right. I wanted to get in there and test this today. I had everything downloading, and I was excited to provide feedback on this. And I couldn't get in. They had some issues, and the PTR server will be down until tomorrow. And so a little bit of a sad face for me, but everything that I was reading on Discord is the naval stuff is pretty well received so far. Obviously not finalized, obviously a work in progress, but what they have, people are saying is pretty damn fun. So I'm looking forward to getting there and testing myself and providing my own input. Character archetypes in combat. Rogue archetype is now available. Dual daggers are now available. They already said that. Ranger archetype changes. Here we go. New Ranger archetype resource, Focus. So this resource starts and caps at 100. Ranger abilities deal up to 15% more damage depending on how much focus is stored when damage occurs, and consume a proportional amount of focus after the hit. 3 focus regenerates per second, and weapon combo finishers restore 10 focus. Yeah, so a lot of different archetypes have different resource pools, and then you can use them to utilize new special abilities. And I was hoping that the Ranger would get it. I love the idea of having resources, a specialty resource that you can build up based off of inputting different skill inputs within the game. Obviously, weapon combo finishers, building up focus. Like, I would like for it to be something a little bit more in depth, but to start off with, I think this is fine. Like, just generating this so that you can hit harder. I do like this type of idea. I do, in general, I like that they went to a resource. New Ranger ability, Salvo. Fires all charges to deal 50% damage to the target enemy per shot when activated. Stores up to 6 charges. Generate 1 charge every 3 seconds and from weapon finishers. Salvo replaces Barrage as the Ranger's starting ability. Triggers enhance armament effects. So I haven't seen this yet. I'm very curious as to what it does. It's going to be very interesting. New Ranger ability, Power Shot. Deals 200% damage to a target enemy. Generates 25 focus and does not consume focus on hit. This has been added as a tier 1 skill tree ability. Excellent. Power Shot can be lightning reloaded. Wow. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. Ranger, Mark, and Hunt revamp. Now, if you guys watch my video, I did not like how Marks and Hunts kind of overlapped with each other a little bit, so I actually like this change quite a bit. Mark of the Tiger, Bear, and Raven have been combined into a single ability, Mark Prey. Mark Prey will apply Tiger, Bear, or Raven mark to the target depending on what hunt is currently active. When a mark is used, the hunt buff effect temporarily leaves the caster and applies a debuff to the target. When the mark duration ends or the target dies, the hunt buff returns to the caster and also grants them a temporary defensive buff. Cool. That's very cool. Mark cooldowns has been reduced from 60 seconds to 30 seconds. Huge change here. This is a very, very nice change. Mark of the Bear mitigation debuff has been decreased from 25% to 15%. This is fair. I said this before in my video. This is why I like this so much. If you're going to have a smaller cooldown, you can't have as strong of an effect. I will say that I'm hoping that Mark of the Bear isn't just physical mitigation. Obviously, like it's not the end of the world, but because it's only one mitigation means you have to build it in a very, very specific way to really take advantage of it, which is, like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's just kind of wish it was both, I guess. Or you had the option to have magical mitigation and physical mitigation, so you had one or the other. But yeah, we'll have to see it entirely. Like, this is just initial first impressions. But yeah, I like this quite a bit in general. Barrage ability changes. Move to being a tier 2 learn skill tree ability. Cooldown has been increased from 12 seconds to 15 seconds. Weapon combos no longer refresh partial cooldown. No longer triggers enhanced armament ammo effects. Oh, wow, that's a huge change. And removed Expeditious Barrage passive. Good, because this really wasn't that useful. Arrow Storm. Fixed the bug causing this to trigger recursively with certain abilities, triggering many more times than intended. Yes. Remove self knockback from Scattershot. A nice quality of life change. I talked about this on the Vladis podcast. I was okay with it. I didn't mind it. I understood why it was there. I could have taken it or left it, take it or leave it. But the other commentators said that they didn't like it so much. And I think that's the way most Rangers kind of felt. They didn't like the knockback. And yeah, it makes sense to get rid of it then. If players don't like how it feels in different forms of PvE and PvP, let it go. I approve. Increased chance for enhanced armament concussive to apply dazed effect from 50% to 100% to be in line with other enhancements. Cool. Yeah, this was the weird one. But yeah, that makes concussive very, very powerful. It already was, but yeah, wow. Okay. Node siege system. Siege declaration banners can now be crafted in a siege declared against any node that is tier 3 village level or higher. Once a node siege is declared, it will be queued to happen during the next 8 p.m. server time primetime window. This is something that they said that they wanted to do. I was very curious if it was going to make it to the start of Alpha 2 when it came live, but current node wars are supposed to also, the big event is also supposed to happen during primetime, but node wars can kind of happen whenever at the moment. So people can launch sneak attack node sieges. And now it's great that, they can launch sneak attack node wars. where like one side is prepared and ready to go, and then they declare war, and the other side is kind of caught wrong-footed, and they're just trying to recover the entire time. So the current system needs to have a similar system to this. That's why I was hoping when the siege system came out that they did do this, so that if a node siege is declared, you now give everybody a chance to prepare. You give everybody a chance to prepare to deal with an incoming siege. So if they declare it the next day, you have 24 X amount of hours for the next day to get ready for a node siege. And so yeah, that is cool stuff. Nodes and wars. Node relic system has been added. There's a chance that certain bosses and mobs will drop a relic that can be transported to a node by caravan. Some relics will require more investigation to discover. Once delivered to a node, the relic will appear in the node relic inventory and provide a buff to the node and/or node zone of influence. Excellent. Through the relic management menu, a mayor can activate or deactivate relics. Excellent. War declaration changes. Guild leaders and mayors now have 3 charges to declare guild wars and node wars. It takes 18 hours to replenish 1 war declaration charge, so choose wisely. Wow, that is a huge change. That is a huge change. So you can have 3 wars at once, but yeah, once you use it, it activates off of you go on an 18-hour cooldown. Very cool. I like this quite a bit. There have been some things that have been happening with war declarations going out quite a bit, and the fact that now like you can't just spam them. I think this is a good change overall, especially for rewards later on. Node Wars now supports War Camp, Home Shrine, and Nearest Attuned Shrines as respawn options. And then Economy and Artisanship, Marketplace now is a search filter, freeholds have been added to the Sand Squall Desert. So overall, huge changes. This is, it can't be understated how big of a patch this is. This is the biggest patch that we've gotten since January. This is a lot. Well, whatever the latest big, I think it was like 6-7 weeks ago. This is a huge update. There are a lot of things coming, and yeah, leads me to want to just go on a very brief tangent. I'm excited. I'm excited that we get some new stuff to test. Obviously, you know, the new stuff being introduced is going to bring life. It's going to bring players into Vera to come test things out. Every amount of content has a shelf life, right? And so I've seen videos, I've seen people talking about the shelf life and you know how people are leaving Alpha 2. And it not because it's not, for a lot of people, it's not because it's not fun. It's just because there's only so much to do right now. They're waiting for new content. And it's been pretty clear that most of phase 2, it's kind of felt like they've been a little bit behind schedule with releasing what they've wanted to release. And now we have a bunch of stuff. And now this is going to keep people's attention for quite a while. I think the rogue introduction is going to be huge for a lot of players. I know the naval stuff is going to be big for me personally, and rogue. Like, this is a huge, I'm very much looking forward to this patch. And obviously on another slightly smaller tangent, if you believe that we are going to get a ramping escalation of content, you know, like what I talked about in the previous video, where every 6 weeks, you know, over the next year, we're going to get more and more stuff. They're going to add more stuff on because they're going to get better at onboarding things onto the server. Things are going to be easier to do as we get further along. This very well may be the smallest release that we are going to see. And that's kind of cool because there is a shit ton of stuff here, guys. There's so much stuff here. There's so much stuff to go in and test and figure out, and yeah, like that just has me excited, obviously, for stuff I get to test now for the next couple months, as well as, hey, by the time I'm done testing this stuff, they'll hopefully have the next iteration of things in 6 weeks for me to test again. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts. Obviously, I'm going to end this here. I want to hear yours in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.